Hello,
Hi Jahanvi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
All good. You look surprisingly very refreshed despite a long day on office.
Well, everyone always does that, I think, to glow up.
But tell me, have you ever played 27 holes in one day during a competition round?
Yeah, I mean, 36 and all. IG All India works that way. So, yeah, I had quite the experience.
So how does it feel? Second pro win in less than 6 months
And that too on the same course and my home course. It
on your home
is
course.
beyond
Yes.
anything. It
Uh,
feels special beyond any feeling that exists. I just can't thank enough. I mean, there was obviously a lot of pressure going back to the same course and
hmm.
restarting it again and saying that okay, I gotta play it good also because it's my home course. So yeah, it feels amazing.
But tell me, do you normally soak in pressure when you're playing at DLF?
Not pressure. I mean, I'm actually relaxed because I feel like it's a course that I know at the back of my hand, so it feels comfortable.
Right. So, if you were to compare March, uh, when you you broke through on WGI, and this week, talk about the similarities and anything else that stands out.
The two tournaments cannot be similar in any manner, I would say, because the conditions were different, the timings were different. I mean, when I was playing that week, we were already, almost 7, 8 months into practice, whereas the tournament was 2, 3 months into practice, like right after the lockdown. So this was like the first event after the lockdown, and that one was like 9th, 10th event after the lockdown. So but yes, obviously they were also similar in the way that you would the conditions were pretty similar even after the rain and all. Everything was good. I mean, DLF has always been good, and it was remained good.
Hmm. But as you said that no two tournaments are similar, talk about the mindset. That week, this week, different
That
conditions, different time.
Yeah, I mean that week was more about setting goals, creating records, and this week was maintaining them. So
Hmm.
obviously this week was, like when I went into the last day, there was more pressure because I had to keep up with the status that I had already created for myself. I mean, being the defending champion and playing the last round, I think that's a different level of pressure. So yeah, it was actually more fun than last time because this time there was a little bit of added pressure that I really have to make this happen. And
Right.
then the rains and all were a little unpredictable. Thankfully today it was nice and sunny. Yesterday it was good in the second half. So we had to play 27 holes in one day and finish 2 rounds almost in one day. So it was pretty fun. I mean the core players was really amazing and course was nice surprisingly. I mean it's DLF though. I mean not that much of a surprise. But yes, everyone was really pleasant and we had a lot of fun.
But taking, if you were to kind of draw from the memories of that week in March into this week, what would they be?
I think the number of birdies, I would remember that, okay, this hole I had a birdie in the last tournament when I played here last time. So this time also I can, I know that this is okay. I can count this as a birdie hole. I can plan this as a birdie hole.
Right. So, obviously, as you said, in March, that was you were in the flow because you had already played a couple of tournaments, and that was probably the second last event before lockdown happened again. And now this week is the first week of competition after restart. So, in terms of the approach, how different was it for you?
Uh, the last time it was probably a little easier because you were in that momentum of playing tournaments and prepared for them and all that. But restarting anything obviously takes a lot of effort.
Mm.
And I keep emphasizing, but the pressure was there because last time I had played well, and there was a certain set scores and standards that I had to meet. And being this the first tournament after the lockdown, I really had to make every shot count.
Okay. So normally, I mean, you've been through this before. DLF again, Jaipur, you were in contention on the final day, and again today. How do you normally approach a final day when you are in a similar situation?
I mean, a final day is always the heaviest day, know, mm, in terms of pressure, anxiety, and scoring wise. Plus, usually the tournament day spins are really tricky. So, it's like a constant battle between going for a birdie because, you might leave a shot or you might be, a shot behind or shot ahead and, you need to secure a birdie or secure a par and, then looking at the pin position and saying that, no, this hole is not a birdie pin, I need to go for the par. I just need to, get on. So it's quite a lot of battles. For me personally, I go into the round saying that, okay, I played the practice round and I played it with a particular planning, so I'll stick to it no matter what. And I think, as simple as the decision sounds, it's the hardest to keep up with because in the heat of the moment, you're like, in the practice round, I thought this whole bogey is good, but in my current position, if I make a bogey here, I'll be losing. So, you're really tempted to change your plannings, but it can cost you. So, you really have to play smart. I mean, it's really a battle of wits in the end.
Mm.
And you gotta stay calm and not be in the moment, but not don't not modifying your score according your game plan according. If you've decided you lay up, you've got to lay up because in that moment, all that pressure, you might just end up losing everything.
Jaipur, I remember, watching you standing in the corner trying to beat back the tears. Uh, so, any lessons from that week that you kind of told yourself, or rather a few promises that you made to yourself after Jaipur?
Um, See, winning and losing is a part of the game. I mean, you lose more than you win.
Yes, of course.
And that's something we need to learn at every stage. Every stage you think that this is going to be different. My defeat might not sting that much, or maybe it might sting too much. But, in the moment when you lose, you lose. You really lose. So I think the fact is not to not cry on it. You can cry to release the pressure. I mean, no, but
Mm.
nothing. See, people say that you can't solve anything by crying. Agreed, but at least the pressure releases. So
Yes.
cry, but bounce back. I think that is the most important message. I mean, you got to be ready the next day to practice, to improve, analyze. So yeah, you got to be ready. So from that round, I learned that the last 5, 6 holes are really very important. I mean, of course, I knew that before, but each time you lose, you see the same sentences in a different meaning.
Mm-hmm.
People always tell you that the last 6 holes are very important, very important, very important. But when as an amateur you play last 6 holes, as a junior you play last 6 holes, as a professional you play last 6 holes, as an maybe in an international tournament you play last 6 holes. Every time the lessons from the last 6 holes are different, and you have to learn them. There's no other way around.
Well, it's your moment of triumph, but I'll still ask you, how long did you take to bounce back from the heartbreak in Jaipur?
A good night's sleep was enough.
Okay, next morning you were fine.
Yeah, I mean, you fill the stat sheet, you analyze your game, and you just work at plugging the holes. And that's the only way.
Anything else that kind of stands out this week?
I guess my happiness is double because it's a double win for me, for sure. Mm. I would have loved if my sister would have joined the podium with me. I mean, she's always been here with me. We practiced together, so I would have really loved to, play a playoff together. Maybe that's my one wish.
Where is,
Our one
where,
joint wish.
where is she?
She's, I think, not here right now. But yeah, so this week, I think, yeah, playing in this weather and everything, it was a new experience, and I learned
Maybe,
well.
of course, every outing is part of the learning curve. Maybe a
Yeah.
word for your mother also, walking the course the whole day and
Yeah.
ensuring that the two girls are comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, she always runs around.
Those who have seen us, they know that.
36 holes, front and back. So,
Right. So I guess the happiness is going to reflect on the dining table tonight.
yeah, you know, nice food maybe this time.
Okay. Enjoy the moment and all the very best for the next 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Bye.